I got a secret. What? That you're the #2 comic book company in the world? You already knew that? Okay, I'm sorry. My secret is that I wasn't introduced to Iron Man through comic books. I was introduced by this TV show. Now, when I say introduce, I knew about Iron Man, but I didn't know about Iron Man until I started watching this TV show and find out about his backstory and learn of the Mandarin and all of his different villains that he faced. So, yeah, this show got me into reading Iron Man. This is my daughter. Say hi, Abby.
Hi.
Her favorite character is Spider-Man. Now, she was introduced to Spider-Man not through comic books. Obviously, it was Disney Plus shows. So we can't be the only people that was introduced to a comic book character not through comic books. Let me know in the comments what was the characters or team that you were introduced to, but it wasn't through comics. Say bye, Abby.
Bye.
Now, to give you what you came here for in the thumbnail. My name is Dorian. This is SCN Comics. We are starting our coverage of Iron Man, the Stark-Roxxon War, Part 1. Our story starts off in upstate New York at a Stark Unlimited facility. You got some workers who are trying to get into there, but the gates are chained up. And you got 2 guards standing there. And the workers are like, oh, you guys are scared because you're trying to unionize. And the 2 guards are like, oh, the chains aren't because we're scared of you. The chains are there because we're scared of what we're going to do to you. And they transform. The workers think they're hulking out. They're not hulking out. They're turning into some demons because that's magic. Now, some of you, not all of you, but some of you might not be familiar with Roxxon. So let me give you a quick breakdown. Roxxon is every crooked corporation that you ever could think of, wrapped in one. They do all the bad things that all these corporations has ever done, but also too, because since this is comics, now you can throw in magic, alien tech, and all the different crazy inventions that all these big head scientists and geniuses that are in comics invent. They do whatever they can to get their hands on all that stuff. Like, could you imagine Elon Musk if he got his hands on like actual magical items? Or could you imagine like Bill Gates having like Shi'ar tech? Or Mark Zuckerberg, all of a sudden now he has Creed technology. Yeah, that's Roxxon. So obviously the people start running away. One of the demon guards corners like this worker. This other dude jumps on him. He gets thrown off, but I guess he got a little bit of training from the military. He lands on his feet. All of a sudden, this blast comes out of nowhere, and all you hear is, these guys aren't hoax. Stop that. That's how bad rumors get started. So obviously as Iron Man, he lands and he goes, obviously you 2 are fired, but let me go ahead and pull this up for you. It pulls up a QR code. It's like, just go ahead and scan that, and after that you could take the HR survey. And they're like, we don't work for you. And Iron Man's like, even better. Have it your way, not Hope Rose. And he uses his repulsor beams and blasts the hell out of them. So now they transform back into humans. And one was like, look, we did what we need to do. We need to get out of here. And the other dude was like, yeah, I know. I just really don't like this guy. So they run off. He transforms out of his armor and he meets with the workers that he just saves, but they're kind of giving him the cold shoulder. So for those of you guys who don't know, during the fall of House of X, actually it was during the fall of X, Phi-Long pretty much took control of Stark's company. Now, Phi-Long was this guy that got pissed off at the mutants because they made it to Mars and pretty much terraformed it and put a rocket on there. And Phi-Long wanted to do the same thing, and he feels like the mutants robbed him of his destiny. So somehow, some way, he thought it was a great idea to steal Stark's company and make big, huge sentinels that look like giant Iron Men. So with the help of his wife, no, I think she's ex-wife now, Emma Frost, he got his company back, and now he's trying to clean up everything that Phi-Long did. And trust me, as we read this book, we're gonna find out that Phi-Long did more than just make big old huge Iron Man sentinels. So now the reason why the workers would give him the cold shoulder is because Phi-Long had them making weapons. Well, everybody knows that Stark doesn't want to make weapons. So workers like, you're probably gonna let us go. And Stark's like, no, we're not gonna let you go. But we don't want to make weapons. So maybe we can make something like semiconductors. Those are really hot right now. So the one worker's like, see, that's the problem. You guys say what we need to make and then we make it. Like, we have no say in what we make. And Stark's like, you know what? That might be a problem. Let's talk. We can maybe fix that problem. So that sounds all good, but no company in the world, fiction or nonfiction, operates that way. That's like the writer of this comic, Spencer Ackerman, is walking into Marvel. Like, you know what? I don't feel like writing comics. I feel like making Marvel wet naps. We're going to do wet naps. And I'm going to look at them like, sounds like a plan. You just got to do it somewhere else because you ain't making it here. You make comics. So he goes to fly away. And as he's getting a little higher and higher, all of a sudden, his suit just cuts out on him. And he comes crashing down into his facility and right on these shelves. And somebody's like, call ambulance because he is hurt. Hurt. Now, he knows he was dealing with Roxxon, and he even said that, damn, he didn't even bring his magic armor, but he didn't feel like he really needed it. That's going to come up later. So now we cut to Manhattan many weeks later, and he is rehabbing. And see, we are like kindred spirits because he's like, I hate the cold. Like, I had my medical care facility here in the Brownstone, but I should have put one in Santa Monica. I'm the same way, Tony. I hate the cold, and if I had the means to be anywhere else, I would say anywhere else. Somewhere warm other than Ohio from about November to about April, I'd be staring at some palm trees. Now, he doesn't know what the hell happened to his armor. He's pretty sure that it wasn't magical, but it could have been, but he's pretty sure it wasn't. So he goes the technical route and he does like a global update to all of his armors to secure them. So his virtual assistants let him know that he has a meeting in 15 minutes. And he's like, what are you talking about? It's only 6 o'clock. His virtual assistant was like, it's 9:45. He was like, oh, can't be late for this one. This is with the board. So the only way to get there in time is for him to put on his armor and go. So he shows up and he gets out of his Iron Man suit and he didn't even have time to get into a business suit. Like, he still has on his wife beater, or should we say spousal beater? Either way it goes, just saying beater will probably get him demonetized. But Pheelong didn't do him any favors because this board are full of people that don't like Stark. Like Jack Cooning Jr., whose daddy was Secretary of Defense when Stark was the Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. They didn't get along. And he's guessing that Jr. probably blamed Stark for his daddy's death. But then Tony uses his helmet as a projector and goes, hey, look, when we get out of weapons, I thought of a surefire way to bring in some revenue. It's called Stark Booking. We could bet on superhero fights and see how they go. But then this former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, who's on the board, her nickname was a Cavalry, brings in AIM. Yes, Advanced Ideal Mechanics. But not just AIM, but they also bring in the Scientist Supreme. Yeah, that is such a thing. Dr. Rappaccini. And if I pronounce that right, I deserve a gold star. And she lets Stark know that AIM and Roxxon are partnering together to purchase Stark Unlimited. So Tony's pissed off, obviously, for all kinds of reasons. Main reason is that once a company is about to be purchased, everything is frozen. So whatever they want to do as far as changes go, they can't. Not until the purchase is either completed or rescinded. So Stark Unlimited will continue to make weapons, and there's nothing that Tony can do about it. So obviously he's pissed. He trashes his lab, and then he does one thing you're never supposed to do when you have a bad day. He puts on his helmet and he hops on social media. And he doubles down by responding to the trolls. But then there's an explosion. He looks over and goes, of course. He puts on a suit. He shows up. It's a laundromat that's on fire. He does a scan and says there's no life forms present. So he puts out the fire and then he's hit from behind. He's being attacked by a humanoid shark and a humanoid tiger. And he's like, I just did an update to my system. Why did it detect these guys in here? And he's like, oh, forget it. And he punches the hell out of him. So the one shark guy is able to grab his leg. He bites down on it and he's able to get through the armor. Now, obviously, he's in pain. But he's also like, God, I hate the feeling when my armor is wet inside. And let me also remind you that he's still recovering. So he's nowhere near 100%. So he's able to slam these dudes down. And then he notices a camera and he sees that these guys are recording him in this whole fight. So then the tiger guy goes, ha, you're washed. And Iron Man's like, well, all your followers just saw Water Sky pretty much own you. And the tiger goes, when the boss says take a punch, I take a punch. I guess that's to imply that maybe, just maybe, these guys could have actually did more damage to Iron Man than they really did. So he ties him up and he goes, I'm an idiot. Like, I've been dealing with Roxxon, and I know they dabble with magic, especially if you go into what Thor is going through. He's like, I need my Mysterium armor. I'm about to go get it. So he flies to the warehouse, he goes inside, and he's instantly punched so hard that he goes, there goes my staples that were in my head. And lo and behold, it's the Not Hope brothers. So even though Iron Man is hurt, he goes, did the QR code not work? I gotta talk to HR. So the one dude goes in for the kill, talking about there's not going to be a round 3. And Iron Man grabs his fist and goes, told you about my repulsor rays, and then shocks the Jesus out this dude. So before Tony can even gloat anymore, all of a sudden the lights are turned on, and it's Justine Hammer. And Tony's like, why aren't you dead? Like, you're supposed to be dead. So she explains how Roxxon brought her back from the dead for this whole acquisition of his company. She goes, yeah, they know that you need a hammer to take care of a Stark. And Tony's like, have you seen your win-loss record against me? It's not good. So Tony's like, okay, it's no problem. Let me just grab my armor. And he reaches to grab his steel armor and it doesn't come. And she goes, oh, how embarrassing. You don't know yet, huh? She touches her brooch and the Mysterio armor comes out of her brooch and goes around her, and she is huge. And they start going at it. And Tony's credit, he's handling his own. Like, considering his armor is way bigger than his, and it's Mysterio, like he's doing the damn thing. But then she goes, oh, you don't know yet, huh? And she goes, armor, drop. And he drops out the sky, just like he did at the factory. And then she lets him know that it was his own hubris that got him in this situation. Because he just would have wore his Mysterio armor in the first place when he first went to the factory, that none of this would be going on right now, because he would have been protected from magical attacks. But since he didn't, they were able to put a spell on him. And when his armor malfunctioned, he thought it was like a malware issue, so he went ahead and he did an update. When he did the update, he sent the magical malware through all of his armors, so now they control all of them. So then she goes, this is not an armor war like last time. No, you already lost. See you at the vote when we acquire your company. And she gets in the limo and she just drives off. So then Tony, back in his lab, goes, Roxxon and AIM are looking to take everything away from me. Okay. She says that this is not another armor war. How right she is, because I'm about to take away everything from them. Their wealth, their status, everything. I'm about to burn it all right to the ground. So how'd you like the first issue? Like, where do you think this is going? Tony has been going through it for like years now. Me personally, I kind of want to see him just go ahead and just take these dudes out with the quickness and like really like set a stage. But I guess that's kind of, we can get into like superior Iron Man territory. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think about that.